Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Predicts, live right now on Twitch and then premiering on YouTube and Facebook. Later on today, it is Royal Rumble weekend, officially coming to a close tonight. So WWE Royal Rumble 2021 taking place live tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. on the WWE Network, as well as the kickoff show taking place live at 6 p.m. on social media, as well as the WWE Network. And then obviously taking place in the WWE Thunderdome in St. Petersburg, Florida today. So be the first Royal Rumble that exists as far as COVID goes. I mean, obviously last year, it was huge, especially when you watching the matches over and over and over again, and then seeing them on YouTube this week and seeing the event, on the WWE Network earlier today. Fact is, I mean, when you think about the crowd that they actually had last year for it, and then the way that Drew McIntyre won and Charlotte won, all the way through to tonight, it's going to be interesting because it's the same concept: 30 men, 30 women coming down Royal Rumble. They'll have the virtual set up, the virtual fans there, but it's going to be a little bit different because you're not going to have that necessary the crowd pops, so to speak, when the surprise entrants come in. You'll still get, we'll still pop at home and everything else, and they'll have the fake audio, so to speak. But it's going to be interesting. And then to know, April comes along, and there's probably going to be 22 to 25,000 screaming wrestling fans there in Raymond James Stadium. It's absolutely amazing. But like I said, WWE Royal Rumble 2021 taking place live tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. Kickoff at 6, and we've got 6 matches on tap. Not official as far as all 30 men and all 30 women go. But with that being said, it's they've been doing surprises for a while now. I remember when I was in high school back in the 90s, which tells you how old I am. But saying that much, it was they always left like maybe 2, 3, 4 guys as far as surprises go, and it'd be like the Great Kabuki would come in, and old school legends like Dory Funk Jr. And those guys there. But anyways, I'll get through the card here. I'll do my predictions as per normal. And then I'm going to talk about some of the surprises, so to speak, of who could make their way into tonight's Royal Rumble matches there. But first match on tap, WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. We got Asuka and Charlotte Flair as champs, defending against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Obviously, Charlotte Flair is always going to be hungry for a singles championship there. So it's interesting. Asuka's the Raw Women's Champion. It'll be interesting to see if Charlotte repeats and, sets up a feud between the two of them going into it. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I miss seeing Shayna Baszler as a singles competitor. I'm not a big fan of Nia Jax. I think she is completely sloppy as far as the ring goes. And you know what? It's keep the championships off of her. Keep her off TV as far as I'm concerned. Especially I say this because of the fact she hasn't learned, how to be safe in that ring. And, it's interesting because of the fact, it's for a girl her size, it's maybe just a size thing. But how many people did Yokozuna ever hurt? Or did you ever hear about him hurting? Unless he wanted to, you know what I mean? So as far as I'm concerned, it's a little bit a bias going on as far as this match goes, because I don't want to see Nia Jax with another championship as long as her career exists. We're going to say Asuka and Charlotte Flair to retain, and I'll get into this a little bit more when I talk about the Women's Royal Rumble match. So Asuka and Charlotte Flair to, like I said, to retain the women's championships there. Next match of the night's SmackDown Women's Championship match. We got Sasha Banks taking on Carmella with Reginald. Obviously, Sasha Banks gave Carmella the match here if she could have a match with Reginald. She did on SmackDown. Reginald, good strong showing, I guess, against Sasha Banks, but in the end, Sasha took him out with the Banks statement, and Carmella gets her match at the Royal Rumble here. Will we see a new champ? No, I can't say we're going to see a new champ. Sasha Banks needs to be booked strong going into WrestleMania. It's going to play out, obviously, into the Women's Royal Rumble match there, but as much as Carmella back in the day has been SmackDown Women's Champion, tonight's not her night. So back-to-back retains as far as the Women's Tag Team Championship match goes, and as well as the Women's SmackDown Women's Championship match goes. So Sasha Banks for the win here. Next match, WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre taking on Goldberg. This one is interesting because there's a part of me that thinks Goldberg is going to end up winning. But then what do you do with the guy after this? and it could play into SmackDown as well. But I love Drew McIntyre. I love the fact that he's he had his Royal Rumble moment last year. He had his WrestleMania moment last year as well. He lost his title to Orton, but still left 2020 as champion. Now he goes in against Goldberg. To me, it's one of those things where Goldberg needs to be done as far as championships go, as far as the WWE goes. In saying that, Drew McIntyre, push him to the moon, build him towards a strong main event at WrestleMania, and keep the title on him. So I'm going to say, once again, Drew McIntyre to retain against Goldberg here. So far, 3 championship matches, and my prediction is all 3 champions in those 3 matches are going to retain. That is my official predictions there. Next match, last man standing match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman taking on Kevin Owens. Once again, it's you kind of see a theme going on here as far as my predictions go. But Kevin Owens, as much as I love the guy, and as much as this is a Canadian podcast, and he is from Canada, fact is, makes no sense to me to have Kevin Owens beat Roman Reigns, for that championship. Obviously, there was talks, and you've heard me talk a bit on CWN Weekly as far as where I thought they were going to go with regards to the WrestleMania main event with Roman Reigns. Obviously, that is off the shelf, and obviously they have to book a new feud. But again, I'll get into that into the Royal Rumble matches when I talk about those. But to me, it makes no sense. Kevin Owens to give him that championship. I see him putting on a strong show. Obviously, the steel cage match between the two guys. And Kevin Owens is one of those guys who can basically beat the hell out of you, and you can beat the hell out of him, and he'll still get up. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good match. But again, Roman Reigns to retain here going into WrestleMania. So then we get to the main events. So the women's Royal Rumble match, as well as the men's Royal Rumble match. And so far announced, as far as the women's Royal Rumble match goes, 13 names have been announced officially. Those are Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Natalya, Nia Jax, Peyton Royce, Ruby Riott, Shayna Baszler, and Tamina, and then 17 more competitors. So, of all the names I've seen mentioned, and some of the names I haven't seen mentioned, these would be the cool names I think that could possibly potentially be surprises tonight as far as the Royal Rumble goes. And here we go. So AJ Lee, Alundra Blaze, otherwise known as Medusa, Becky Lynch, Beth Phoenix, Billie Kay, Io Shirai, Lacey Evans, Lita, Michelle McCool, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, Ronda Rousey, Taya Valkyrie, the Bella Twins, and then Trish Stratus. So Trish Stratus, Natalya let out a picture, I think it was on Instagram, of the two of them, and I think Natalya had said something like, are you ready for the Rumble there, Trish? And the picture, the post has been deleted since, but Trish was already one of those people who I thought would be in the match. So there would be 18 there, so 12 more competitors. Of the ones I mentioned, Alundra Blaze would be cool because of the fact she came out on Twitter and made a post saying that she's never been in the Women's Royal Rumble match, and that she's not getting any younger, so she would make sense. Becky Lynch, I don't know if she's ready. Fact is, when the post was made, it was very early December of her and Seth Rollins having the baby. I don't know if she'd be ring ready at this point. So I got to say no to Becky Lynch. Beth Phoenix, I can say yes to. Billie Kay, I can say yes to. Io Shirai would be cool. But that would lead into the men's Royal Rumble match as well, which I'll talk about in a moment. So I could say yes to Io Shirai. Lacey Evans hasn't been officially put in, but I can see her being in easily. Lita, not sure what kind of ring shape she's in. Haven't seen her on social media, but I haven't looked for her on social media either. Michelle McCool, I think, is a no-brainer. Naomi's a no-brainer. Rhea Ripley is one of the ones who's been talked about the most. Ronda Rousey has been talked about as well, but whether or not she's still trying to have a family. But when we talk about WrestleMania main events, Ronda Rousey, it's an easy 1-2 right there. Taya Valkyrie, Impact Wrestling's done as far as her career goes, and it would be pretty cool. The Bella Twins has been listed, I think, as far as the watch along or the bump goes, but if everything's happening in the same location, who knows? And then, like I said, talk about Trish Stratus as well. The one name I did skip, and this would go hand in hand, would be AJ Lee. If AJ Lee's there, CM Punk is there. this will be like it was last year with Beth Phoenix as well as Edge. So if we see AJ Lee in the Women's Royal Rumble match, which I don't think would be that surprising, expect CM Punk to be in the Men's Royal Rumble match. I think that'd be absolutely cool. And maybe that's why we didn't see CM Punk on backstage last night. But in saying that as well, Natalya is officially number 30 as far as the Royal Rumble match goes. They could do a setup between her and Ronda Rousey if they wanted to, depending on how many women are in there. But the fact is, when it comes down to it, a lot of names that would be cool to see. I think Rhea Ripley is one of those who has a heavy shot at winning the Rumble there. Taya Valkyrie, I don't think she's going to win, but I think she might possibly make an appearance tonight. And Io Shirai, I think, would be cool too, NXT Women's Champion. So of all the names I mentioned, I got to say this. WWE booking, I want to say Rhea Ripley, but it's WWE booking, and I'm going to say Charlotte Flair ends up becoming the two-time Royal Rumble Women's Champion, so to speak, going on to WrestleMania to face her tag team partner, Asuka. So the Women's Tag Team Champions going at it at WrestleMania is my prediction there. So Charlotte Flair for the win for the Women's Royal Rumble. Then we get on to the men's side here. So officially announced 21 names. AJ Styles, Big E, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, Dominic Mysterio, Edge, who is number 2. That was announced on backstage last night. Jeff Hardy, Jey Uso, John Morrison, King Corbin, Mustafa Ali, Otis, Randy Orton, who has been announced as number 1. That was last night on backstage as well. Rey Mysterio, Sami Zayn, Sheamus, Shinsuke Nakamura, and The Miz, plus 9 more. So when you go into surprises, potential names, possibilities that have been mentioned, or to me anyways, could make an appearance tonight would be Aleister Black, Brock Lesnar, Christian, CM Punk, Damian Priest, Eric Rowan, Finn Balor, John Cena, Karrion Kross, Murphy, Almost, RVD, Seth Rollins, The Fiend, The Rock, and Tucker. So when I go and I look at those names, realistically, Aleister Black, probably yes. I'm going to say Damian Priest because we haven't seen him in NXT lately, so I'm going to say yes there. Finn Balor, like I say, if we see Io Shirai, I think Finn Balor would be cool representing NXT in this one. John Cena is a possibility because he came back, he did the promo work for the WrestleManias that are coming up, and all of a sudden he's been rumored to be part of WrestleMania for sure this year. So who knows? Maybe we'll get to see John Cena in the ring for this one. Karrion Kross, I think, would just be cool. Murphy kind of goes hand in hand with the Mysterios if they're still going along with that. Almost would be cool because the fact is it would be his type of match. Apparently he's not ring ready, but if you're going to put somebody in the ring to maybe start his career off, why not have it be at the Royal Rumble? Like, this guy's like 7'4", 7'5", whatever the case may be. And he could be in the ring with AJ Styles, protecting AJ Styles while the match is going on. I think that would be cool there. RVD, we haven't heard about lately, obviously since Impact Wrestling. But, when you look at the Royal Rumble events that he's been part of, it's been absolutely amazing. He actually made his return, I think, 13 or 14, I think it was, to the WWE as part of a Royal Rumble event. Seth Rollins, I think, is a no-brainer. Just the fact that he wanted time off to be with the baby. Now it's the end of January, so I think this is the reemergence of Seth Rollins. Whether or not it's the same character, who knows? The Fiend is going to play into Randy Orton not winning, so the Fiend, I don't know if it's going to be him there, or, you know what, I'm going to say yes, it's going to be the Fiend there, and he plays into Randy Orton losing the Royal Rumble, so to speak. So the Fiend could be part of the ending, so to speak. The Rock, as much as I'd love to see it, podcasts I've listened to this week have said, you know what, with WrestleMania not having full capacity crowd, why waste a match on, with The Rock and then Roman Reigns? Why not try to build it another couple of years? And they can. Tucker would make sense if they just need another guy in there. And then, of the names who I think realistically, like I said, if AJ Lee is going to be part of the Women's Royal Rumble match, if we see that happen, expect CM Punk to be in the Men's Royal Rumble match. Christian, I think, would be cool simply because of the fact that Edge is in there, and Edge is in there at number 2. So why not have Christian come in number 3, number 4, and we get to see Edge and Christian go at each other, or we get to see Edge and Christian be a team in the Royal Rumble. I think that would be cool there. Eric Rowan would be cool as well. I haven't seen anything more as far as him and AEW goes. It might have been a one-off, but why not pay tribute to Luke Harper, John Hubert tonight through Eric Rowan there. The one guy who I'm going to mention last here is Brock Lesnar. I'm going to say this. If they can't go with Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania, why not have Brock Lesnar play into it and have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. So a heel Roman Reigns versus a tweener or a babyface Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman's kind of, stuck in the middle, because the last time we saw Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar, it was still their deal. You know what I mean? And then Brock Lesnar disappears, obviously, because of COVID, everything else. But the fact is, with WrestleMania actually having a crowd and WrestleMania actually taking place at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa in April, I think it'd be cool to see Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman in the middle of it, and then, Brock Lesnar on the other side of it. Does that mean Brock Lesnar's going to win the Rumble? Or does he basically play into it that, it's one of those things where, what do you do with the guy? Do you have him win the Rumble, automatically get a shot? Which I think would be absolutely cool. You know what? I'm going to go with it. I actually had another opinion. So I was going to say, what happens if Brock Lesnar throws out Jey Uso, and then all of a sudden Roman Reigns chooses out Jey Uso, and then all of a sudden that's how the feud starts. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Brock Lesnar wins it. Brock Lesnar wins the men's Royal Rumble with a comeback. I'm going to say the surprises that I had mentioned. CM Punk would be cool. And there's another Paul Heyman guy, but if they go Brock Lesnar, CM Punk won't be in there. But it all depends if AJ Lee shows up at the women's, and that's going to get people talking. That's going to get the internet buzzing. And even though they are closed set right now, we know there's going to be fans at Raymond James Stadium, and that's the whole buy-in, so to speak. That's the whole play-in. So it's very interesting. But I got to say this: I got to say Brock Lesnar officially to win the men's Royal Rumble. And it's going to set up a feud, which I'll be looking forward to. It's not necessarily The Rock and Roman Reigns, but it is going to be interesting seeing two Paul Heyman guys go at it there. So, guys, just to recap here, Asuka, Charlotte Flair to retain, Sasha Banks to retain, Drew McIntyre to retain, Roman Reigns to retain. We've got Charlotte Flair winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, and we've got Brock Lesnar winning the Men's Royal Rumble match. So those are my predictions there. So check it out live tonight, 7 o'clock p.m., WB Network, 6 o'clock p.m. for the kickoff. Social media and WB Network, like I said, WB Thunderdome, St. Petersburg, Florida, taking place tonight. And it's going to be interesting. And they've got hype going on all weekend, including today. I don't think there's a point in time this afternoon that you can't turn on the WB Network or YouTube and not find new content as far as the WB goes. I know they've got a show taking place. I don't think it's 3. I think it's 4, because 3 o'clock would be my premiere time. But 4 o'clock, they've got, what is it, that the WB, I want to say Aftermath. It's not Aftermath. It's it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. It's the Bump. There we go. I remembered it before I went off the air, the Bump. So the Bump is on at 4 p.m. And then I think they've got a couple little specials going on, replays, so to speak. So I think Bianca Belair is one of them. That would be my second pick as far as the Women's Royal Rumble goes. And maybe actually third. See, it's all over the place. I'm going to stick with Charlotte, though. But yeah, content all over the WWE Network this afternoon. Content all over YouTube, all afternoon as well. And if that's not enough for you, go to CWNonline.ca. There's a little subsection at the very top called #Royal Rumble. There's a lot of content that's there as well. So, guys, that is it for the prediction show. Hopefully, I'm back for CWN Recap tonight. Just depends on how long it goes, how tired I am. So if I do go tonight, it'll be 15 to 20 minutes post-show, so 15 to 20 minutes after the Royal Rumble ends. If not, I will be on the air tomorrow with a premiere on YouTube as well as Facebook. But if I do go tonight, it'll be live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as YouTube. So if you watch this on Twitch, thank you very much. If you're watching the premiere, thank you very much. If you listen on audio, thank you very much as well. Like I said, hopefully I'll be back for the recap tonight. And if not, I will be back sometime tomorrow afternoon for the premiere on YouTube as well as Facebook. And if I'm not back for the recap, it means I'm probably tired enough that I'm still awake mentally, but not, long story short, if I'm not doing the recap, I'll be watching WB Icons Yokozuna immediately follow the Royal Rumble. So that is what I'll be doing. I'll be able to talk about that on the air tomorrow as well. But we'll see how hyper and how hyped up I am. 20 years ago for sure, but I am getting older. And like I said, it all depends how long it goes. But recap tonight or tomorrow for sure there, guys. And as always, check me out at Chris Maloney, CWN. So it's Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and then Twitch as well. I haven't started doing streaming on Twitch yet, but I will soon. But like I said, that is it for the prediction show. Check out the recap show either tonight or tomorrow. Most importantly, though, enjoy the Royal Rumble tonight. It is my second most favorite pay-per-view as far as the WWE goes, right behind WrestleMania there. And it is one of the original 4. And but by the way, in saying that, I've done my top 10 Royal Rumble events of all time on CWNonline.ca. Number 1 will be launched at 5 o'clock today. Number 2 was obviously yesterday, and it was tough. It was tough going through all the Royal Rumbles and figuring out which ones were my favorite. But today won't be much of a surprise. I'll say that. But it is my number 1 Royal Rumble today at 5 on the website there. So check that out. But guys, enjoy the Royal Rumble tonight. I'll be back for the recap tonight or tomorrow. And eat lots of munchies and don't drink too much. And we'll see everybody again sometime soon. All right.